In today's class, we will revise the poem Daffodils. As I told to all the students to please have a revision of this poem. So I hope that you all did. So we'll discuss today question answer given in your workbook. Okay. And also today we will discuss about style. See, in style, that is very important because some figure of speech are to be used here, and that also the line in which what types of figure of speech is used we will discuss. So first of all, we will discuss the style given on page number 89. Dhruv, you have raised your hand. Do you want to ask anything? Dhruv? If you don't want to ask anything, please lower your hand. Dhruv Srivastava 9D. Okay. So in style, first of all, the style is used in the poem is a lyric. As I explained you that this poem Daffodil is a lyric poem. What is lyric? See, that it deals with the poet feelings, state of mind and perception. So lyric is a type of poem in which we can have the poet's feeling, his state of mind and his thought. So he can give his state of mind and all in the type of lyric poem. The word lyric has been derived for the word lyre, Lyre. Lyre. The word lyric is derived from the word lyre. Lyre. Okay, and it implies that the poem is meant to be sung. Lyre, which means to be sung. Okay, it has derived from the word lyre. Lyre, which means to be sung. Okay. See, however, much of the lyric poem today is meant for reading. Actually, it was earlier when there was something in the state, in the mind of poet and the writer who is writing the same lyric poem, in which in that form it was used to be sung. They sing the poem, and then after they tells the story, they tell the story, or they inform the thing what is the attitude of the poet, what he just wanted to say in this in any types of lyric poetry. But nowadays lyric is a type of poem in which we read it. We are not going to sing the same thing and then after the viewers come to know the consideration of the poet, but we only read and we get to know the poet's perception. Clear? So though lyric poetry normally has love as its main theme, love is the main theme of lyric, but not only love, but many poets have been written some lyrics on nature, happiness, grief and loss. Okay, many poets earlier it was written the main theme of the main theme of lyric poem was love only, but now its theme became love, nature, then happiness, as well as grief and loss. Grief and so that was the main theme of lyric poem. Okay. See, these types of consideration and the thought was having in poem. So that was given in that form. When we talk on form and structure of this poem, See, the poem has 4 stanzas with 6 lines each. If we will read this poem, we have 6 stanzas. 6 stanza, and in all the lines, or in all the stanza, there are 6 lines. Okay, sorry, 4 stanzas of 6 lines, not six. Here it is 4 stanzas of 6 lines. 4 stanzas of 6 lines. See, most of the lines are in the form of complete sentence. The full stops are to put at the end of the each line. Means basically here it is talking about the lines is somewhere giving the full line alone, full sense alone. So that is why there is in most of the lines there are full stops after the end of the line. So in this way it is giving the full sense in itself. Okay. They are put at the end of the line at the last line of the stanza, comma, semicolons, and the colons are to be used to give the pause of the whole stanza form single and complete giving sense. Okay. Here it says if such types of line, if a line is there in which the another sense was given into the next line, so with that, to make the separation of that thought, writer has used here commas, semicolons, and some punctuation marks so that the sense are coming from the next line. Okay. Now, Wordsworth has unified the content of the poem by focusing the first 3 stanzas of experience at the lake, amidst of the crowd of daffodils in the last is the memory that he had experienced. In the first 3 stanzas, he explained the beautiful description of daffodils what he had been seen there. And in the last stanza, he is talking about his own feelings, okay, his own joy, his own memory and experience of daffodils, of that feeling what he had felt there. Okay, what about rhyming scheme? There is a question in the last time I found that it's a term to related to rhyming scheme. So you must have to know the rhyming scheme of all the poems, including your course. The rhyming scheme of this poem is it has a musical equivalence, and the poet has it has followed in the poem the same each stanza. The first rhymes with the third lines, and the second to the fourth. I will read. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on hills or vales and hills, where all at once I saw a crowd. So you can see the first line is somewhere going to match with the third line, and the second line, see, that floats on high over the vales and hills, a host of golden daffodils. So first line with the three matching with third line, and the second line is matching with the fourth line. Okay. In each stanza, rhyming scheme is using that each stanza end with a rhyming couplet, and last 2 lines we have no. Now, see the first line with the third line, and then after second with the fourth line. The last 2, 5, and 6 lines. These 2 lines are couplet. Okay, couplet. Couplet are the 2 lines of poems. Couplet, 2 lines of poem. So 4 and then 2, that becomes 6 line of each stanza. Clear? Okay. The rhyming scheme is followed is A B A B C C. So you can please note it down somewhere. The rhyming scheme of this poem is what is that? A B rhyming scheme is the poem is A B C C. This pattern, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and these 2 are what? Couplet. Clear? It's very good to extinguish these things in your answer if you're going to write the rhyming pattern of the poem. So do not simply write that this was the pattern. If you want to explain it, try to explain in the form that it has four stanzas of a 60 line. Okay, the first line is going to match or going to rhyme with the third lines, and then after the second line is going to match or going to rhyme with the uh, fourth line, and the last two lines which CC is couplet. Okay, now imagery. Wordsworth has presented a natural scenery that is calm and peaceful yet joyful. Imagery is what? In that he has used natural scenery images related to image is somewhere related to imagery. Okay. For this he has used to range the images of lakes, fields, trees, stars, and cloud. So imagery is also one of the figure of speech used by poet here. Here he has used images of lake, images of fields, trees, stars, and clouds. And Wordsworth is filled with joy on seeing that golden daffodils and has compared them to Milky Way galaxy. He has seen golden daffodils and has compared these daffodils to the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, in the second stanza, and he praised their dance in the third stanza, and concluding, green hills, blue lakes, silver stars, and have been used to depict the beauty of the nature. So how imagery is used in the poem, you can see that he has used the imagery of and images of he has used the images of lake, okay, valleys. He has depicted nature and all. So with the help of these things, we can see the best and the descriptive imagery in this poem. The next point is talking about alliteration. Okay, next point is alliteration. Alliteration. So, what is alliteration? You know that it is a close repetition of consonants sound. Okay, repetition of consonants sound. Clear? So it is the close repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of the words to facilitate narration. High over vales and hills. HH is used here. Then continuous as the stars or the stars that shine. So stars S and shine S is the same consonant sound that is repeating. Now, next is personification. Many times we have discussed personification in our class that it is a speech, figure of speech in which either an inanimate object or an abstract concept is spoken as it was endowed by human attributes. It means the things, the object or the things are to be used which is not living. Non-living thing is used at it shows that there is life, that there is a life. So a host of golden daffodils. We will read this line, we find a host of, who is host? A person, no, a quality of speaking, an ability to communicate something. So that is a person who can have that types of ability to talk somebody, to communicate somebody, or to listen somebody, becomes a host. That is why here the word host is personified here, because that quality what a human have is now is the quality that where of it has the quality of a human being in the daffodils flowers. So beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. It says that a fluttering and dancing. So these are the quality of a human being, but it was given in the flower according to the poet. In this line, daffodil have been personified as fluttering and dancing along the riverside. And after that 10,000, I saw at a glance, tossing their heads and sprightly dance. Again, tossing their heads and sprightly dance. Again, personification. If there is life, that is why they are tossing their heads and they dance. So here the poet has imagined a huge group of daffodils tossing and dancing like human beings. The waves beside them dance. So these words can be seen as personification. So personification is used here to give a sense of living being. Waves here are said to have an ability to dance. In fact, the wave is a raised line of water that moves across the surface of the sea. Okay. It is a movement but not literally a dance like a dancer does. So whatever movements that was done by the daffodils, maybe that movements are, you know, due to great wind and all, but he explained the way in which a person dances. So the same way daffodils does. Okay. Now in the fourth point, you can say, but the outdid sparkling waves in glee. Again, waves are personified. Waves in glee. So how the waves can sparkling? See how they did. So the poet indicates that how the daffodils, like human beings, were involved in a dancing competition with the wave. The daffodil defeated the waves in glee. So if there is competition in humans, so this activity can be seen in human life. So, as their competition, the wave and the daffodils are doing. Next point is simile. The poet has used simile. I wonder as a cloud. So I told that where you have the word so, like, and as, these are simile. No, he has compared himself to a wandering cloud that is away from the landscape. This presents the idea of selection that the poet is feeling. Continuous are the stars that shine. Again, the word as the stars. So continuous as the stars that shine. Again, simile. So the first second sentence in the second stanza uses this simile to describe the daffodils spread continuously like the shining stars in the twinkling night. Again, metaphor that implied simile. So figure of speech in which comparison between two different things is implied but not clearly stated. As here we can see that a comparison can be done with the help of these three words, so like an ask, but here it is without using these three words. Compare are to be done by the poet, and that was what that was implied simile but not clearly stated. For example, when the poet referring daffodils saying that I wander lonely as a cloud that floats on high vales on hills. Here there are two types of figure of speech. High over vales and hill. First of all, alliteration you will pick, and after that one more metaphor is used here because the cloud's movement is compared implicitly the movement of the boat. Okay, so it is says that cloud that float on the high overs. So the floating, the movements are being compared with the movements of the boat. Clear? Onomatopoeia, that is what is a figure of speech in which the sound of the words convey the sense. Figure of speech in which the sound of the word conveys sense. So fluttering is a sound. Okay. With the help of that fluttering word, we come to know the movement was done with the help of a sound. And then the 10th is a hyperbole. Here, writer has used hyperbole as well. So it is an exaggeration of ideas for the sake of emphasis. where the writer want to do emphasis in the sentence or in a statement in his or in their mind whatever consideration they have, they use hyperbole to exaggerate their. There was some network issues, due to that we were unable to connect. See, last 2 minutes we have for this class. Today's last class also will be taken by me. I will finish this poem today. Okay, I will take the last class of today's timetable. So I was talking about hyperbole, an exaggeration of ideas for the sake of emphasis. Here, the line in a poem that 10,000 saw I at a glance is a hyperbole describing 10,000 I saw. How it is possible for a man to say in a glance 10,000 things. Okay, so that was a exaggeration, emphasis on the point. You know how the beautiful way he has been described the flower daffodil. So 10,000 saw I at a glance. When I saw at a glance, in a glance, I saw that much daffodils. Okay, so describing the scene of 10,000 daffodils lying together. So this is somewhere not possible. He is only making exaggeration. So style we have studied today. Now I will take the next class in which I will try to explain you themes. There are two themes, and then after some question answer. So be prepared for this. Okay. Thank you so much and have a nice day.